Hi guys, I'm Kaitlin, the aquatics director, and I'm going to read to you Winnie the Pooh and the Day for Eeyore. One summer day, Winnie the Pooh was walking down the road that went to the old wooden bridge. The bridge was one of his favorite places. He liked to stand on it and look down at the river, slipping slowly by. As Pooh walked under the pine trees, something bounced on his head. "My goodness," cried Pooh. "It's a fir cone, and a very good one, too." Pooh was looking at this perfect fir cone and didn't see the big root sticking up from the path. Oops! Pooh tripped over the root and went tumbling down the hill. Pooh landed right in the middle of his favorite bridge. "Where did my fir cone go?" Pooh said, looking up at the hill. "Oh, bother, it's rolling right into the river." Pooh watched the fir cone plop into the water and float away. Then Pooh noticed something very strange. "That's funny. My fir cone fell into the water on that side of the bridge and came out on this side. I wonder if I can do that again." Pooh gathered more fir cones and some sticks and went back to the bridge. He stood on one side of the bridge and threw everything into the river. Then he ran to the other side of the bridge. "There's one, and another, and another. They've all come through, and the sticks are even faster than the fir cones," said Pooh. "I can't wait to tell everyone." "Piglet, Rabbit, Roo, I've got a new game to play. It's called Pooh Sticks. I named it after myself," Pooh explained. "I can't tell you about it, but I can show you." So they all went down to the river. "Now everyone gather some sticks," Pooh said, "and when we throw them off this side of the bridge and run to the other side and see who wins." "Are you ready?" Pooh said. "Throw." Then Piglet, Pooh, Rabbit, and Roo all ran to the other side of the bridge. "Here comes mine," cried Pooh. But it wasn't a Pooh stick at all. It was Eeyore floating down the river. "Dear me, Eeyore," called Rabbit. "Are you waiting for somebody to help you out of the river?" "That would be nice," Eeyore answered, bobbing up and down. "What shall we do?" asked Piglet. Then Pooh said, "I've got an idea. If we throw a big rock next to Eeyore, the waves will wash him ashore." Everyone except Eeyore thought that was a fine idea. Pooh got a big rock and lifted it to the rail of the bridge. He aimed at a spot near Eeyore and gave a big push. Splash! The rock fell very close to Eeyore. In fact, it fell on him. "Look, there he is," said Rabbit, pointing down the river, and there was Eeyore, climbing out of the river onto the shore. Pooh's idea had worked. Sort of. They all ran over to the dripping donkey. "How did you fall in?" Rabbit asked. "I was bounced in," Eeyore said gloomily. I expect Tigger bounced him," whispered Piglet. Just then, out of the woods bounced Tigger. "Tigger, did you bounce Eeyore into the river?" Rabbit asked. "I didn't bounce him," Tigger said. "I was behind him, and I coughed." "Bouncing or coughing, it's all the same," Eeyore said. But everyone knew that Tigger had bounced Eeyore into the river. "You really should think of others before you go bouncing about," Rabbit said to Tigger. But Eeyore shook his head. "Why should Tigger think of me?" he said. "Nobody else does." With his head hanging low, Eeyore walked away. "Eeyore seems gloomier than usual today. Does anyone know why?" asked Pooh. "No, Pooh," Rabbit said, "but you're right. I've never seen Eeyore so gloomy." "Well then," Pooh said, "I'll just follow him and find out what's wrong." "What's the matter, Eeyore?" asked Pooh, after he caught up with the little donkey. "You seem so sad." "Sad? Why should I be sad?" Eeyore answered. "It's my birthday, the happiest day of the year." So that was it, thought Pooh. It's Eeyore's birthday, and no one remembered. "Wait right there," Pooh yelled to Eeyore. Pooh hurried home as fast as he could. On the way, he met Piglet. "It's Eeyore's birthday, and I'm going to give him a jar of honey," Pooh said. "And I shall give him a red balloon," Piglet said, and he ran home to get it. Pooh found a very fine jar of honey in his cupboard. He started back to Eeyore's house. He hadn't gone very far when a funny, rumbling feeling began to creep over him. It told him that it was time for a little something. Very soon the honey jar was empty, and Pooh's tummy was full. "Oh, bother," cried Pooh. "I've eaten Eeyore's birthday present. Now all I have to give him is an empty pot." Then Pooh had an idea. "I shall go see my friend Owl." Pooh went to Owl's treehouse. He asked Owl to write "Happy Birthday" on the empty pot, and Owl did. "What a splendid idea," said Owl. "An empty pot can be a very useful present." Meanwhile, Piglet was running through the woods with a big red balloon. Eeyore will be so pleased with this balloon. He won't be gloomy anymore, and kaboom! Oh dear, Piglet said, holding up what was left of his big red balloon. I've hit a branch with my balloon, and now I haven't a balloon at all. Piglet found Eeyore by the river. I've brought you a present, Eeyore, he said. It was beautiful, a big red balloon, before it popped. Eeyore stared at the broken balloon. Just after that moment, Pooh arrived with his empty honey pot. I brought you a birthday present, Eeyore, said Pooh. It's a very useful pot, Pooh pointed out, and it's got happy birthday written on it. Eeyore examined the empty pot. It's for putting things in, Pooh said. Eeyore picked up the broken balloon and put it in the pot. Then he took it out and put it in again. Gosh, you didn't have to get me anything, said Eeyore, smiling. I'm very glad you did. And I'm very glad that I thought of giving you a useful pot to put things in, Pooh said. And I'm very glad I thought of giving you something to put in a useful pot, Piglet added. Now we have another surprise, Eeyore, said Pooh. Come with us. So Eeyore and Pooh and Piglet set out for the bridge. Just as they got to the top of the hill, there were shouts of surprise and happy birthday. Eeyore looked down and saw all of his friends wearing party hats. Of course, Eeyore's friends didn't include Tigger. Tigger hadn't been invited to the party because he had been thoughtless and bounced Eeyore into the river. But just as they began to eat Eeyore's birthday cake, Tigger bounced in. You've got a lot of nerve showing up after what you did to Eeyore, Rabbit said, watching Tigger gobble up a big bite of cake. I think Tigger should leave, Rabbit said sternly. Aw, let him stay, Roo pleaded. What do you think, Christopher Robin? Pooh said. Christopher Robin thought for a moment. I think. Everyone waited to hear Christopher Robin's answer. I think we all ought to play Pooh Sticks, he said. Pooh Sticks, Tigger said happily. Oh boy, that's what Tiggers do best. So they gathered on the old wooden bridge and played the game for many happy hours. And Eeyore, who had never played Pooh Sticks before, won more times than anybody else. But poor Tigger didn't win at all. Tiggers don't like Pooh Sticks, he said grumpily. Congratulations, Eeyore. It's been a delightful party, Owl said, and he flew off towards his treehouse. Eeyore noticed Tigger walking away sadly. Tigger, Eeyore called, I'd be happy to tell you my secret for winning at Pooh Sticks. You would? Tigger answered suddenly, looking his old cheerful self, and off they went together. Pooh and Piglet and Christopher Robin watched them walk away. Tigger is all right, really, Piglet said. Of course he is, Christopher Robin agreed. Pooh thought for a minute. Then he said, Everybody is all right, really. That's what I think. I don't suppose I'm right. But he was. The end. Thanks, guys.